Trevor,
Not
I'm going to ask first this question because people are asking it all day long. What is the difference between SEO and AI optimization?
well. SEO is for search engine optimization, and typically what we're doing is we're finding a way to get on the first page of Google based on how Google has indexed your website pertinent to specific keywords that ideally you've optimized based on the difficulty, based on their intent, whether it's navigational, informational, transactional, commercial. The difference is with generative AI now, they're basically summarizing articles that already exist, not citing sources, not giving credit where credit is due unless you specifically ask for that. So, how do you get found in generative AI? Because generative AI now, or AI optimization, or Google's optimized overview at the top of searches that are appearing now. Now, I hear there's going to be ads coming to that soon. That's going to be kind of the next frontier is the Google AI summary at the top will have ad placement there. But essentially, AI optimization is how do you appear in generative AI and LLMs for search results based on your exact techniques and how you structure content differently than you would simply for SEO.
So the big question everybody has is AI optimization replacing Google search and SEO at this point in time? Because now people are going to ChatGPT, they're going to Gemini, they're going to these AI LLMs and asking the question that normally they would have gone directly to a web browser and asked. So what do you see with that? How is that moving and shaking? And what's reality here for entrepreneurs out there?
Reality is whether you subscribe to Facebook or not, you will have to move fast and break things, and in a way that ideally reheal stronger, just like working out temporarily tears muscles to reheal stronger. You being a fitness fan will appreciate the analogy, but that's essentially what it is. I love those doomsday posts that on LinkedIn that tried to get the clickbait. Oh, SEO is dead. SEO is dead. Well, guess what? I'm in ChatGPT for more than one entry. You can say, tell me about American entrepreneur Trevor W. Goodchild. You have a whole bunch of stuff. Guess where ChatGPT is sourcing that from? Google. So yeah, it's not gone yet. A big source that a lot of people don't realize that I'm even scared to give this away is actually Wikipedia and Reddit and Quora. That's where a lot of data is being pulled from. Now, when I first got started in search engine optimization, before I got on the first page of Google for a lot of the keywords that drive potential clients to my funnel in business, I relied on answering questions on Quora and Reddit to get new clients, kind of like a mini lead magnet of just giving away partial bits of a fuller paid product so that I could engender goodwill, not by being spammy and buy my stuff, but genuinely helping people and allowing them to proactively pursue working with me later. Now, of course, you can't do that for all of your client acquisition. That's a feast, famine cycle right there. It's just one of the pillars. But what's really cool is because that was the foundation for me getting into SEO before I even started publishing articles and ranking with keywords. Now, years later, ChatGPT lists me in multiple places. Who's the best authority on helping out with restricted meta ad accounts? I'm in that list. Sometimes the number one in that list. They even have a picture of one of my YouTube video thumbnails in there and link my YouTube video. This is a 4-month-old video. This is not something that I've spent years getting at the top of SEO lists and YouTube years ago. This is new, right? It's all being indexed. So as a result, the thing is that we have to understand that SEO is not dead, but it's not one dimensional. It's multidimensional. It's part of the larger landscape of what's happening. So from my particular field, helping people who have been restricted on Facebook for advertising, my information and my experience comes from directly working at Facebook. That's not on Google, right? So it's funny. Oh, well, ChatGPT, take away your business. Well, are all of your secrets for your paid offers on Google? So one of the tips that I would have is that you can still publish and you can still have great content, great value, leave with value first, don't bury it. But put the stuff you don't want indexed in LLMs behind a pay gate or an opt-in, an email, whatever it is, because that will prevent ChatGPT from stealing all of your paid offers and regurgitating them in a chat reply.
That's something that we've been in the news, and I've been talking a lot about. We had that big lawsuit, and oh, they're going to save your chats forever, and what does that mean for privacy? And that's a whole other conversation. But where I want to shift now that you've kind of clarified AI optimization versus SEO, what are kind of some of the things to think about? I want to address like one of the concepts out there that is AI is recursive in nature. It's constantly training itself, and it prefers actually to learn from AI generated content. Actually, that's kind of a myth. They would say that it doesn't prefer AI content, but kind of it does, because what it prefers is optimized content. So if a human's writing content in a way that is clear structure, has relevant keywords, is authoritative, is very fast, direct, to the point, and answers that question, that keyword question or that key phrase question for the user directly, it's going to do just as well as AI generated content. But what a lot of entrepreneurs don't understand is AI generated content automatically does that. It is optimized in a way that AI is going to prefer. So it requires us to kind of shift how we are thinking about our content if we want to continue in an AI optimization strategy. Would you agree with that? And what are the things that you're thinking and seeing from your area of expertise?
Well, it's funny because I'm going to take a left turn here, and it's going to sound like it's not related at all, but actually I think it's even more related. So what's the number one thing you hate when you're doing a Google search to find an answer to something that you really care about? Or if you're got your wallet in your hand, you're ready to purchase, and you click on an article about best plane flights to Italy or something like that, and then you deal with an article that's 4 pages long talking about what is Italy. And you're like, no, I don't need a fluff piece. I need the actual answer to the question. So I think really we're going to enter in an era of even more generic, mediocre crap created by people who don't know how to use the tool correctly, who don't know how to use AI correctly, and they use it instead of augmenting their brains to replace their brains. Why did influencer marketing rise in the first place? It's because people felt more safe and comfortable associating themselves with someone whose values were upfront and transparent instead of a faceless corporate entity, right? I mean, you could say that, Kim Kardashian pretty much started influencer marketing, whatever you think of reality shows or not. She definitely spearheaded a lot of that because people saw her for who she was. Whatever your opinion of that was, she wasn't hiding it. Versus the shadowy doors of corporations that don't let you know anything about where they're offshoring their, workers or whatever else they're doing. So I think really the biggest SEO hack I can give people, yes, learn how to talk like machines do. Optimize the things that machines don't fail to optimize when it comes to putting value up front, using the right keywords and the right headers. But really it's the elimination of fluff. Mm-hmm. It's the more value you can actually give your brand for the information you're doing. I mean, Chet Holmes talked about this in Ultimate Sales Machine, Chapter 4, Edutainment. When you educate someone on a topic, not only do they feel reciprocity towards you and wanting to buy with you, as long as you make the pivot in there to determine why you're the best choice over all the other competitors, otherwise you're just advertising for them, is being able to say, oh, wow, this person is some authority on this topic because I've learned something from them. So the less we rely on these one weird trick to cure belly fat, clickbait titles, long articles defining the term instead of defining the solution the search term brings up, the more we're going to engender loyalty, CTV, longer value out of the same customer to have repeat purchases. I think it's going to shift. I think there's going to be a big backlash against generic AI crap that's being generated that is not useful to anyone. Fluff and filler are already, bad enough. I think it's going to cause people to really decide, I want to be with brands, whether they're using AI or not, that actually deliver the answer I'm looking for, that actually give me the value in the content I want. That's the best SEO trick, because if you're everywhere, but everywhere you are, it's fluff, that's not going to help. You have two articles that appear on page 1 of Google, right? Both are doing the right tactics for AIO and SEO, but one of them is a bunch of fluff. The other one delivers real value. Which do you think will stick in the customer's mind? Who do you think will come back for a second purchase? Right?
Well, and in an AI optimized world, it's going to go for the one without the fluff, because really AI is optimized. It prefers optimized content. It also does not like keyword stuffing, fluff, generic output, like it's scrubbing generic output. So really what businesses should be doing, and I'm just going to summarize this because that's what I'm really good at. Should businesses use AI to write their web or marketing content? Yes, absolutely. Use it to optimize, but have a strategy. Have a strategy, your message, your value, but feed that into the AI and have it draft the content faster, have it help you with research and summarization of the research, help it to repurpose your already made content and to help you improve your SEO structure. Then human edit it for your voice to make sure your voice is still there, for your clarity, for your relevant, and for your alignment to your brand, to make sure that it's clear, concise, it's SEO optimized, but it also has that human authenticity because people, let's be real, people do business with people. You talked about this with influencer marketing, but more and more, I encounter this. And I actually talk about this on my TV show quite regularly. And that's people are asking, is this a human? Are you a human? Is this Jen? Or am I speaking to your avatar? Like, that is a question that I'm getting asked regularly and kind of tongue in cheek in front of the audiences that are live too. They're like, okay, well, am I speaking to your avatar or am I speaking to Jen? No, of course. I'm like, they haven't nailed holographic avatars yet. So like it's tongue in cheek, but it's a reality that we're starting to see. And so generic AI content, that's going to go by the wayside because we don't want all that. So let me ask you your opinion. You know, we know that AI tends to recommend and highlight clear, concise. We talked about this, clear and concise, high authority, well-sourced, directly answering the question that is asked. If somebody asks for an answer, you gave this earlier, and you fluff it up, it's not going to rank very well. It wants it to be updated, specific, and it wants it to be easy to put into like bullets. Like, can it make your content easy to digest bullet points? And if so, AI likes that better. So when you think about writing for AI, my understanding is you write for the humans first, then you have AI structure it to be SEO and AI optimized second, and then the human in the loop at the end. So we're doing the 5% us with the content and the strategy in the front end. Then AI is doing 90% in the middle, and then we're going to like make sure at the end that it's the output that we want, that it's saying that we want, that it's on brand, and that it's authentic to us. So we're really like 10% of the equation, and AI is kind of stuffed in the middle. What are your thoughts on that?
Write for humans, but format for machines. I mean, you know, if ChatGPT summarizes your post and the answers sound generic, your structure fails. You want to definitely show your credentials, the author bios, link your platform, cite your sources. You know, EEAT isn't just a Google rule, it's table stakes for AI inclusion. Make sure to include your summary at the top, TLDR, your insights, so that clearly even a distracted ChatGPT model or Gemini or whatever you're using, Claude, can summarize what you're saying easily and effortlessly. And the whole SEO stuff is not going away. Interlinking between stuff, AI spider crawls all of your stuff. So if you're linking it together, that's only going to help when it comes to structure and integrity, schema markup, article, FAQ, how-to, person. These are still entry points for AI comprehension. And of course, niching down harder for longer tail, but more specific purchase intention phrases is going to help as well. You talk about saturation of AI and the results of that. Say you're, doing the search term for tech onboarding for, fintech apps. That's going to get a lot more results than tech tips. But how are you going to appear in that result, And, building out topic clusters is always going to help. And internal linking isn't just for that bounce rate, but the conceptual adjacency that machines love. And, everything else with the best practices isn't going out the window, because let's say you get mentioned in, like I do, in certain ChatGPT queries already. That doesn't mean that all of your buying customers are on a ChatGPT LLM. Maybe some of them hear about you there, but just because you're appearing in the generative AI memory doesn't mean that's still top of funnel for you. It's new. It'll be an additional piece to add to the SEO landscape, not yet replacing it. And I don't think it will, because we have different generations of people that are moving into this. It's not the same as like an instant overnight, change where everything is different. ChatGPT came out, in 2021, right? It's taken a bit. Now it feels like everything is like overnight, but it's taken several years to even get to this point. And so keeping this in mind, you have to understand, like any good target audience targeting, when you're creating an ad to run ads, that SEO is the same way, and figuring out who you're targeting, where they spend time on, and actually where this makes difference when it comes to, generational content. Because Gen X still remembers libraries and linear notes, when millennials grew up Googling everything from cheat codes to cholesterol. Gen Z skips both and goes straight to the LLM interface with prompts as short as text hand, ask, receive, move on. But is your entire audience who's buying your services Gen Z, right? So we might want to think about the generational gaps and how they've socialized with technology and AI differently, and then adjust as we go along.
And I'm kind of giggling a little bit because I am Gen X, and I remember when dial-up came to be, and I was in medical school, so it's not natural to everyone, but we adapted quite well. The boomers really struggle with the adaptations, especially with AI, and I do a lot of AI strategy and integrations and help on the change management and learning side. So like it's interesting that you brought the generation, but I'm going to also say it has gender implications as well. As somebody who's been in business for over 30 years, men will Google before they'll go on social media to source information. Yeah. Women are going to go to social media to source information. So you even have gender changes as well as generational differences. Just like Gen Xers, where are we? We're on LinkedIn. Yeah. We might be on Facebook. But are we like on the social media also, like it's generational, it's gender, there's a whole lot of other things that play in to our buying behavior. So what I want to stress to everybody, like this has been pure gold. We learned the difference between SEO and AI optimization, but the reality is the fundamentals stay the same. Who is your audience? What are they looking for? What value are you bringing? Who are your buyers? And we want to be clear, concise, direct, and solve their problems without a lot of fluff. And that's how we're going. So the fundamentals are the same. Where are my buyers hanging out? I need to be there. How are they wanting to be communicated with? I need to be there. And if we're generalized in this, just like generalized AI output for copy, we're going to speak to no one. We have to be very, very clear and speak to our ideal customer, just like with everything else, only we're going to be AI assisted. Right? We're going to feed it in. We're going to have AI help us with how does it format for best optimization. And then we're going to make sure we bring that humanity and that value back. So don't just copy paste, folks. No general stuff here. We want high quality AI assisted content. That's going to win every time. It's going to outperform traditional writing. It's going to outperform only generative writing. So AI assisted plus human refined.
What I love to use AI for is because as an author whose grandmother was a painter, I don't want AI to replace the authors, the misfits, the musicians, the writers. I don't want that. But augmenting and improving and assisting, that's where it's at. It's not about replacing content. It's about augmenting content. So what I love ChatGPT for and other AIs is to be able to frame out, to expand the options that we have to select and choose from, and then to add our human touch to it.
And so, Trevor, I love to leave audiences with one action that they can take today, no matter where they are, whether they're starting out, whether they're kind of seasoned in business, whether they're small or big. What is the one action that people watching and listening can take today to improve their AI search visibility?
Find a few pages of your website, copy and paste that into ChatGPT and ask it if it can summarize the value that you're trying to deliver. Ask it if it can basically tell you what this business is about. And if it can't, you got to do some work.
I love it. Audit your page. Today's the day. The future of search is not just keywords, folks. It's clarity, it's speed, it's relevance. It's, am I talking directly to that ideal buyer so they opt in? You want them to opt in, not opt out. Thank you so much for your insight today, Trevor. It's been really awesome to chat with you.
Yes, it's always a joy to chat with you, Jen.